Okay, today we're going to talk about the Xray table. When you come in and turn on your equipment and start to come in and set up your room, the first thing you'll notice is this little yellow button, and that button is just to make sure the table doesn't move before you're ready to work with the table. It's just a protective thing. So, in order to raise the table or lower the table, or to move the tabletop, we have some foot pedals that you double tap and hold. So you push the button all the way down to the floor with the first tap. The second tap, when you push it down and hold it, and then it allows it to move. The tabletop is free floating, so be sure to watch your fingers underneath. It actually has a protective mechanism that sometimes will lock it again if you have your hands underneath it and not allow the table to move. And you'll have to re-push the button at the floor in order to make it move, but that's just to keep you from pinching your fingers. So to raise the table, double tap and hold the up arrow. To lower, double tap and hold the down arrow. We can also just slide our patients on the mattress sometimes to help to move them in the areas where we need them to be. This is our Bucky. It holds our image receptor or digital plate. There is a little metal lever on each side that you just push the lever with your finger, and then you can move the Bucky up or down in the support. So if we're going to do an abdomen, I can move this up toward my patient's abdomen and go ahead and push it in just a little bit, and then I can move the tabletop to center more of the abdomen area to this image receptor, and then we align to our Bucky. So this is just kind of the general area. In order to shoot an X-ray, I always need to make sure that that's pushed in all the way. Okay, so just general table movements, the little multiple arrows or cross arrows on each end move the tabletop. These same pedals are on the other side, and then the raise and lower are there on the front also. We have an emergency stop button. We also have the actual breaker, the main breaker to the room, and then behind the control panel there's another emergency stop button. If any of this equipment is malfunctioning and could be a hazard to the patient, then you always want to make sure that you turn one of those off or all of them off to make sure that everyone is safe. There also is a protective mechanism to make sure that we don't put too much weight at the ends of the table that are unsupported. So if I push on this really hard, and it really doesn't take much, about 5 pounds of pressure, and there's a tonal alarm that you will hear, a loud noise that kind of startles us generally, but that just lets you know that you're pushing on the ends of the table, so we want to make sure that we don't do that. Also, if you're going to sit on the table, always sit kind of in the center of this support area. Don't ever just sit on the ends of the table. Okay, I think that's all for operating the table. So double tap and hold, and then move your patient to whichever position that they need to be, or to move the Bucky, just push in on this little lever here, and then you can move it to either side. Also, this is the grid, just like we have in our wall Bucky. If that gets pulled out, just push it back in, and you can see it is automated, so if the Bucky senses that something needs to be changed, then it will move out of the way. And so if you set for for wall Bucky, and yet you bring the tube over the top of the Bucky itself, then it'll move to the end like you just saw it do. So you always want to make sure that you set table Bucky for the projections that you're going to do actually in the table.